Hi, welcome to PAFOW Live. Appreciate you joining me today. As is the case with remote work, had a little technical challenge. We got it sorted here in real time, but we didn't lose much time. So I'll just jump right into what we want to talk about today in the world of people analytics and the future of work, because a lot's going on. It's fall season. Fall season historically has been conference season, not only in our industry, but in most industries. And obviously, they're not taking place in person. So there's much to share. There's much to consider going into year end as budgets are being formulated and priorities set going into the next calendar year. Of course, we're in this great place of uncertainty. And I am going to talk about uncertainty, and we're also going to talk about new regulations that are coming into effect. Ian Cook from Vizier is going to be joining me at the bottom of the hour to talk about just that, what's coming down with new SEC rulings here in the United States and what's happening elsewhere in the world around data privacy, data management, and reporting in general from a corporate perspective. Now, if you don't know, October 5th and 6th is coming up. We're going to have our next conference, PAFOW Global Online, we're calling it. And this is in place of what we had normally done this time of year and do our in-person event on the East Coast. So we are going to do this in this environment. I am really, I say this and I hear it a lot. I'm really, really excited. I'm really, really excited about how this is coming together. It seems, arguably, I can hear some pushback from some good friends. Oh, isn't that little gimmicky? At the same time, it is something that is going to be way more engaging than just staring at a screen. We're going to be leveraging Slido. There's going to be real-time discussions. There's going to be content that you can access on demand. There's going to be live streaming with some of the most prominent thought leaders and practitioners in our community. This includes Don Klinghoffer from Microsoft, Prasad Sethi from Google, Mohindra, formerly of Apple and Wayfair, and McKesson, on down the line. And we're going to talk a lot about the future of work. Michelle Weiss is going to be joining us. We're going to be really pushing the envelope given this time of uncertainty. Obviously, we have an election coming up in the United States, which is going to mean a lot to what's going to happen in the future, not only economically and socially, but really in this field of data privacy and management. And I've already talked about TikTok in a prior episode. Also going to talk about what's with the Data Transparency Act that is on the table in Congress. Is that actually going to come to fruition? So much to share and explore on that in the coming days and weeks, and certainly at our conference. For today, I'm going to talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I wrote an article on LinkedIn about after her passing. This was very personal to me, and I know millions of others, and I just want to honor her briefly. And it's going to be, very how should I say, it's not going to be enough given what she has done. I'm going to touch on in our second segment how to measure DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, focusing on that middle part, especially because that's a new term for many, and it really carries a lot of weight, not only within organizations, but beyond that. And finally, before our time with Ian, I'm going to talk about the talent and culture framework. And there's been a lot of inquiries. I get questions via LinkedIn and the PAFOW community app mostly. And after I presented this a few weeks ago, a lot of questions came in and said, how can I learn more about this? Are there other frameworks that are out there? So I just want to talk about that because I think that'll be a good staging for our discussion with Ian. So before I go to break, I just do want to give a shout out to RBG. The notorious RBG, she has affectionately been called over the years. And from a personal perspective, she has been, I wear a hat, and I have one behind me with virtue on it. And she has exemplified that throughout the course of her life. She has fought for what was right according to her, and not only according to her, but she was an advocate of disenfranchised people, not only women, which she's best known for, but really all disadvantaged groups who were really not equal under the law. And realizing that, she put forth her life's work to really advance that and get it to a place where we can all be viewed on a same playing field. And again, that term equity, comes to mind. And I'll just highlight a few examples of what she has done, and specifically in the workplace, because she's done a lot of work, literally last nearly 40 years on the Supreme Court on so many things. But if you're able to start a business without a male cosigner, if you're a woman that is, and able to do that, she was a driver of that change. Get a credit card without a male cosigner. Obtain a business loan without a male cosigner. Obtain a job without a gender-based discrimination. Obtain and retain employment while pregnant. Receive pension benefits equal to male coworkers. As I was reading this list and many of the reflections that she had been honored with, I am dumbfounded by how much we have had to do over the last 30, 40 years. And I would think growing up that these would just be given, but they weren't. They had to be earned. They had to be fought for. So as we deal with the wake of her passing, what are we committed to fight for? Not only socially, but in the workplace. Workplace arguably has been a safe haven for those who were comfortable with the status quo and benefited from the status quo. Now there is, in fact, an uprising where saying we have to do more. We have a responsibility to do more. And during our conference and here in this forum, we talk about how to actually do more. So hope you find that beneficial. There's certainly more to say about her in the coming days and weeks, and certainly at our conference. So I hope you join us then. So right now we're going to take a short break, and then I'll come back and I'm going to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion measurement.